Eco-friendly smartphones are sadly a small niche, but there is one company making sustainable phones, and the newest device is called the Fairphone 3. It features a modular design, stock Android 9, and is made out of fair-traded resources, recycled plastic, and comes from a fair factory who pays their workers well. I found this project quite interesting, and I still remember the release of the Fairphone 2 a few years ago. Today in this video we'll have a closer look at the phone and I will walk you through all the features. Now this is Shenzhen in China. Shenzhen is known as the world's factory because so much of our stuff is made there. In fact, a few reports say that 90% of the world's electronics come from Shenzhen, including toys, televisions, air conditioning units, mobile phones and drones. I have visited the city quite often, and I always like to say there is nothing that you can't do in Shenzhen. But I also visited a lot of factories where people have to work very hard and are mostly underpaid to deliver the Western world cheap electronics. Fairphone aims to change this with their phones. They are still made in China, but there are factories who treat and pay their workers well. But there are also factories where people have to work like slaves. So let's see how good this fair-made phone really is in comparison with the cheap budget phones who flood our market.
What's up guys, Steven here, welcome back to another video, and today I'm really excited because today we finally have something different on the table. So this right over here is the brand new fully modular Fairphone. You've seen it in the intro what Fairphone is, what they stand for, what they do. So I don't want to bore you with facts, we'll jump straight into what you guys came for, and I guess it's a teardown to have a closer look inside how the modular features work like, and we'll do that just in a second. But at this point, big thanks to the guys over in Amsterdam for choosing me and sending me the phone. I've not been paid to make this video, but I think the project is really nice. It's really helping out the environment, and yeah, I'm really excited about the technology as well. So big thanks to the guys in Amsterdam, and this is a pre-production unit, so the final build quality may be different, keep that in mind. But now let's stop talking and let's jump straight into the unboxing. Alrighty guys, so here is the package and let's have a closer look on what we can find inside. So I made for you Fairphone, pretty nice packaging, and they tried to keep it small, probably also because of, lower shipping fees and yeah, to not waste resources. Then in here we have the phone, no super fancy plastic packaging, so this also looks like recycled. There's a screwdriver inside, that's pretty cool because we need to actually use that to open it up because there are some screws. The Fairphone 2 was actually a phone which you could open up almost completely without screws. Here's a user guide, which usually nobody is reading, so we'll put it beside, and there we have the phone. Now you will wonder, why is there no charger included? So well, there is no charger included for a reason. First of all, on cheaper phones, on budget phones, people throw it away because they don't have quick charge, and the chargers included are usually crap. So they say buy a quality charger on your own or buy it from Fairphone directly if you need one, so that they don't waste resources on the charger, which I think is a cool thing because, well, I usually also throw my stock chargers on budget phones away which don't have quick charging. Now here we have the phone, and well, as you can see, it's looking pretty cool, but this is handmade, so well, it can have a few scratches here and there, and also I've used it a little bit, so yeah, I'll tell you later the build quality. Okay, there we have the phone. Now let's open it up and let's see how it looks on the inside. Alright guys, so I haven't done that before, so I'm really curious if I can manage to open it up without breaking it. So well, let's see if I can do that. So first of all, we have to remove the back cover, and this is really easy. Just with your fingernail, peel it off, and here is the inside of the phone. First of all, right over here, that's the removable battery. You can easily remove it with your finger. There we go. Let's get the battery out. The battery, as you can see, changes in your hands. Pretty cool design, and it says 3060 milliamp hours straight on the battery. So that's a fairly huge battery for a mid-range processor and that display size. Then here you can see we have all the ports here on the inside. So micro SD up to 400 gigs, SIM 1, SIM 2, because this is a dual SIM phone. We can see here also, as you can see right over here, the antenna lines, which I think is a really cool design. The whole plastic here is recycled and transparent, so you can actually see also here the ports, the speaker, the chipset, and I think it looks really cool. So now comes the tricky part, because we have to remove some screws in order to get the modules out, so there is no way around that. And yeah, let's open it up and there we go. Now once you have removed all the screws, you can actually lift off the bottom part and there we go. What we have right over here is the actual display and check it out. Really thin, so that's just a display, nothing else. And usually you have a flex cable inside which goes from the display connector to the motherboard. But as you can see here, we just have a few golden contacts and they're actually connecting here with this connector to the motherboard. That's super smart and the repair should be super easy because usually when you change your display, the weakest part is the flex cable and this is usually what breaks if people do it for the first time. So here the display, here some instructions, yeah, don't kill the screws, and that's displayed. And now let's have a closer look here at the motherboard from the inside. So here we have a few modules which we can actually remove and let's just check this out. So here's the connector for the display which we've seen before. Here we have a flex cable for the bottom module. The bottom module consists out of a Type-C port and there's also a speaker module. So let's say if only the Type-C port is broken for some reason like water damage, you can just swap that part out. And that's really cool because usually on most of the phones you have to replace the whole bottom PCB and that's expensive. Then let's check out here the top. Here as you can see it says top, so there we have the top module with the front-facing camera. Here we have the camera with the camera module, and the top module also includes the speaker. So basically there are also some signs. Here for instance, that should be the speaker I guess. Here we have the camera. Here at the bottom the microphone, if the microphone is broken. Here the charging port and here the speaker module. So I'll quickly try to get out all the modules and let's check out how this works. Okay guys, I managed to get it out. There is still a flex cable inside. You need to check out that you don't damage it, but it's pretty solid. It says a camera on there. And here we simply have the camera module. So yeah, check it out right now. And there is a single 12 megapixel camera with a dual tone LED flash. And as you can see here, the connector for the flex cable. So let's put it beside and let's check out the next module, which should be the whole top module. And there we go, the top module is removed and now I get it, that's for the headphone jack, because what you see right over here, here we got the front facing camera and here the top module includes the 3.5mm headphone jack. So it's actually pretty cool because it's just one module. So let's say you just kill the headphone jack because for like water damage, then you just have to replace that and not your whole phone. Okay, now the only part left is the whole motherboard. So as you can see right over here with the heat shields and everything. And yeah, you can remove the motherboard as well, but you need a Torx screwdriver, a very small one, in order to do that. I won't do it because usually the motherboard doesn't break down. If Apple tells you the motherboard breaks down, they just rip you off. But usually on a phone, it's the least part that dies. And yeah, the motherboard can be replaced. You could also do that on your own, but then you should really take care on what you do, and you also need a different screwdriver for all that. But let's have a look at the remaining modules, because what we have right over here, that's the bottom module, and as you can see, it includes the Type-C port and the whole charging circuit. So this is just this tiny piece right over here. And the coolest part, I think, right over here, the speaker. So as you can see, speaker in theory could be upgradable and really, really cool stuff. So I think it's a super smart design. Yeah, just check out how that looks now ripped off. It doesn't even look like a phone anymore, but still, I can put it together in 5 minutes again, and that's really, really cool. Alrighty, so there we go, here's the phone. Now let's check it out and let's check out some things and how it works. I've also found the build quality. I have to say, build quality is pretty good. I really like the modular design, but yeah, the plastic is a little bit prone to scratches, as you can see here on the back side. Already a few scratches from the keys in my pocket. Now the display itself, well, as you can see, the auto brightness is a little bit slow sometimes, but works pretty fine. The display already has also some scratches because I was leaving it with the keys in my pocket, which you shouldn't do. So I would really recommend to get yourself a screen protector, even though you can change the display easily. The phone is pretty thick, so I wouldn't recommend a cover, but a screen protector is really a must. Now the phone is running Android 9, pretty much stock Android, just feels like a Google Pixel, so from Android, because it's, yeah, pretty much close to stock. There are no modifications at all except of some settings, and we can check out here the notification bar. So I already tried out a little bit of multitasking. Now the system on chip, it's a medium range, so it handles it okay, but it's not the fastest one. Anyway, let's check out quickly the settings, and there we go. So here the usual settings: network, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, blah blah blah, and battery. Now the battery, it lasts around a day, so it depends really on your use. If you're not a heavy user, you will get a little bit more than a day. If you're a heavy user, you will get a day. So that's all I can say about the battery, because I haven't tested it so much so far, but yeah, that's it. You have 64 gigabytes of storage, you have a few apps installed, there are still 40 gigabytes left, so that's pretty okay, but you can put in micro SD cards to extend the internal memory, so that's also fine. Then there is a fingerprint scanner. Now the fingerprint scanner is here at the top, which is a little bit hard to reach. I have big fingers, so for me it's okay, but if you have small fingers, then maybe it's a little bit hard to reach the fingerprint scanner. It has all the latest Google features, like also digital well-being, which Google has introduced. And yeah, if we go here to system, no, sorry, let's go to about the phone. Then as you can see here, there should be also the Android version, Android 9, and there are updates under system and system update. And as you can see, it's running the latest security patch. So you should get the latest Google patches really fast, because this is pretty much stock Android. Then let's check out the camera. So right over here we have the camera, portrait, panorama, there is a pro mode. The pro mode is pretty nice because sometimes you really have to adjust the brightness and exposure on these single camera phones. Then normal regular photos and videos. The camera is a 12 megapixel camera which can shoot maximum of 12 megapixels with an aperture of 1.8. As you can see here, object tracking, red eye reduction, so some advanced features. The video quality is 4K 30 FPS maximum, so that's also okay for such a phone. And yeah, that's it. I'll leave you some of the sample pictures now in the video, but you can also check them out. Links will be down below in the description. Front-facing camera so far is doing fine. You can check out some pictures also right now on the screen. Under the recording modes, as you can see, we have video quality up to 1080p 30 FPS. Then I noticed something. If you go to the settings and video mode, let's change the camera, and there we go. Then in here there is also 1080p 120 FPS, but I guess it should be 60 FPS, and also the camera, if you focus, it will just force close. So this is a little bug right now, but you know, they just made this phone. This is a pre-production sample, and there are a few tiny minor issues which they still solve. Alright guys, so that is the camera. As you can see, pretty much stock Android, so nothing to explain here. Let's quickly check out the Antutu benchmark, and there we go, we get 100K, which, yeah, the chipset in this smartphone has been introduced last year, so in the middle of last year. It's an okay chipset for a mid-range phone, but don't expect flagship performance out of it. Then let's quickly check out if PUBG is running, so popular games. I can show you that also these games run, not at maximum graphics, but they do run. So guys, the performance out of the Snapdragon 632 with 4 GB of RAM, well, don't expect wonders. You will have micro lags in the game, especially if there are a lot of players and you're moving fast. But that's completely normal. You also have that on budget phones with this chipset. And yeah, you can play 3D games like that, but don't expect that they run in full maximum graphics. They will run at basic graphics and yeah, with average frame rate, but occasional micro stutters. Now, video playback on the phone is really okay, but there are no stereo speakers. So that big earpiece is just an earpiece, and the speaker at the bottom is the speaker. You can for sure zoom in because, you know, this is 18:9. And the screen itself is looking good. It's bright enough for outdoors use, and it's a quite okay looking screen, so there's really nothing wrong with the screen. The speaker performance, well, it's mediocre. Don't expect any wonders out of the speaker. It's quite loud, but still the sound quality, I would say it's average. So now let's check out the fingerprint scanner. I'll quickly want to show you the performance. So it works from the black screen. You just put your finger on there and there you go, as you can see, unlocked. So the fingerprint scanner is working quite good, reliable. But well, I don't like the placing too much. It's too much at the top, but because of the battery, they probably couldn't place it right over here. Alright guys, so yeah, that's basically it. The camera quality, just some comments on that. It's a single camera, it's not that good like Google's camera in the Google Pixel for sure. It's getting the job done for occasional snapshots, but as soon as it gets dark, it gets very noisy, as you've seen before. Videos, they look okay, they don't look really good, they don't look really bad, so there's nothing wrong with the videos. But the camera quality, yeah, it's okay for snapshots, but I wouldn't use it like now for pro Instagram pictures. Anyhow, it's a solid phone that runs pretty much stock Android, has not the best flagship components, but well, it is working fine. And the most important stuff for me is that modular design, because I really like that. Okay, that's it ladies and gentlemen, and now let's come to a quick conclusion. Alrighty guys, so we're now here at the end of this video, and just some personal feedback and personal thoughts from myself. So I really appreciate it if you watched until this point, and I would also appreciate if you continue until the end, because the message I think is really important. First of all, I think it's a good project. The phone, well, it's a mid-budget mediocre phone for a little bit higher price tag than usual. And Fairphone even states on a sheet they have included, who is this phone for? Customers who want a mid-range phone. Well, it's obviously a mid-range phone. It's a mid-range chipset with mediocre camera performance, but I think it has really cool features that it's easily to repair. And they also said here, a repairable phone that lasts. So if you drop your phone quite often, I think it's cool that you can get every single part in the store from Fairphone, and you can also replace it for yourself. So you don't have to put it to third-party repair centers where it costs a lot to change that. For instance, I changed parts on my Huawei phone, and this usually costs around 400 euros, so 390 euros for the front and back side. This is absolutely crazy. It's like a new phone. And a sustainable phone, well, sustainable, it is sustainable, that's really true. It's also quite robust. Build quality in the final version will be different, as I've told you. For sure, there's also the eco aspect, which is not listed here, but I think you're actually it's simply like donating something to a good project. You know, you pay more than you could actually buy a phone with similar specifications without the modular features for 200 euros, so half of the price. But there, you know, it comes from a Foxconn company or Foxconn similar assembly company, and the working conditions there are horrible. So I was a few times in China because I do run my own business. I sell televisions, which we make in China with our Chinese partner. I had my own power supply line, my own power supply brand, and I visited a lot of factories. And at one time in China, I visited I don't want to say name, but a power supply company that also makes cables and stuff. And we visited the factory, and first of all, I was impressed. This facility was huge. There were tons of people working there, and it was almost 7 p.m., something like that. People were still working all the time. I'm not sure, for sure they don't work 24 hours a day, so then they get changed with other people, but still they have to work for quite a long time. And we had a look at the factory with the owner. It was quite impressive. And then I saw one girl, and I was really impressed by that girl because I'm pretty good at soldering stuff. I repair a lot of stuff, and I do this since I'm 10 years old. And this girl was just soldering like a machine. It was so damn fast, and I was like, damn, that girl got skills. And then I looked at her, and it's very hard to guess the age of Chinese, especially girls. And I was like, okay, she could be 15, 16, something like that. And then I was just curious, and I was a bit drunk, and I asked the owner, hey, do you know how old are your workers? And the owner just said, we don't check IDs. And this just really was a statement that blew my mind. I mean, we don't check IDs already says that they're underage. And the problem with that is I talked then to the other owner, and they said, yeah, they're a little bit younger, not totally young, but younger. But if they wouldn't work here, they wouldn't have a job, their family wouldn't be able to live. And this was just blowing my mind, because at 16 I was playing Counter-Strike, World of Warcraft. I was probably the king of World of Warcraft. And this girl with 16 actually makes an income for the family. And this was just really, really crazy. And I had huge respect for the girl. I was a little bit sad that I now saw how it really works in the world. And this is every time I see a $5 product on Amazon, I think this is coming from a factory where they treat people like shit. And yeah, sorry for the bad words, this is probably demonetized anyway, but still I think it's a really important message. And after I saw this, I just think more about what I buy. I don't buy every crap, I just check, does it have a good quality so I can use it at least for a longer time, and that this makes the planet a little bit better, so I don't buy stuff, throw it away, buy new stuff because it's crap. So I try to buy quality products. The Fairphone 3 is definitely also a quality product, but yeah, it's a little bit expensive. But this is just if you want to be part of this project, well, then you need to pay the high price. If you want to have a flagship phone, the Fairphone is definitely not for you. So also it's not a phone for me because, well, I need a really good camera for my YouTube work, and with the Fairphone, I wouldn't be simply able to keep up. I want 4K 60, which I don't even get on my Huawei P30 Pro. And also I need a really good camera for Instagram stuff. You know, time is changing, time is weird, but that's how it is. If I would have to buy a phone for my mom, because she's also very eco-friendly, I would probably choose this one because she doesn't care at all about the specs. It's a usable phone, it has Google, Android 9, and it's pretty close to stock, so you can expect updates very, let's say, early in the time frame and also sustainable. Anyway, cool project. I'm looking forward to more phones from this company, and yeah, if you like the Fairphone, if you want to give it a try, check out the links down below. No affiliate links at all, just to the website, and check out the product. So big thanks for watching, guys. If you have a story about China to share or anything, or want to share your opinion, post it now down below in the comments, because I'm always really excited about such stories. So big thanks for watching. I'm Steven from Tech Magnet, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a nice day and bye.